Thanks, Joey. Christmas has a way of jarring our memories. And it seems like the more things don't go the way you had them planned, the more memorable Christmas is. If you think back through your life, can anybody, like when I think back through my life, that's the really special Christmases are the ones where things didn't go the way they were supposed to. I remember one, it wasn't Christmas Day, but it was in Christmas time, leading up into December, a number of years ago now, where we had a snowstorm that started with snow and ended with ice, the way they so often do. And then it started to warm up, which of course makes the snow and ice really heavy, and started bringing down all the trees, and we lost power. Actually, one of our neighbor's trees caught on fire. It was pretty spectacular, but that's beside the point. We lost power. And so, at a time of year when everybody has lights everywhere, and we really go out of our way to have lots of lights and lots of things shining and sparkling, it was dark. And everybody was asking the same question. When are the lights coming back on? But I noticed something, that living in town, I had forgotten how beautiful the stars are when the lights of town are off, because it's so rare that the lights of town are off at night. And it was just spectacular to see all the stars. Even with the ice and the snow, the clouds had moved away, and you could see definition in the sky. And I'd forgotten how amazing that is. Sometimes we need the darkness to appreciate the light. Sometimes we need the darkness to prepare ourselves for the light. Sometimes darkness helps us see things that we have forgotten to look for. Christmas is God's answer to the world's most honest question. When are the lights coming back on? And John gives us this answer with 12 thunderous words in verse 5 of John chapter 1. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Tonight we celebrate the night light walked into our darkness. When we think of Christmas, we often think of Christmas lights and fireplaces and warm things, warm memories. But the first Christmas wasn't cozy, it wasn't warm. The first Christmas started in the dark in so many ways, at so many levels. It began with a couple who had to travel unexpectedly in a country that was occupied by a foreign nation. There were political pressures and fears. It was a crowded little town. And this couple had an unexpected, unplanned pregnancy. And they were residing in a place that was set aside for animals. And the world was dark. People were unsure of anything. Many, many people had been waiting for a Messiah for generations. In their struggles, in their difficulties, they had waited, and the world, I'm sure, seemed very dark. But the story doesn't begin there. The story doesn't start with a manger in Bethlehem. The story starts much earlier. And we see that from the book of John, our gospel writer. He started a lot farther back. John 1:1 says, "In the beginning was the Word." John went back to the beginning. Why? Because he wants us to see that Christmas didn't start in Bethlehem. Christmas started in the heart of God. Christmas actually started at the beginning of the creation. The word "word" here, if you'll allow me for a moment to get academic, is often misunderstood. As we continue reading through John, we learn that the word "word" is being used to refer to Jesus. The Greek word that John chose to use here is logos, which there's no English word that perfectly lines up with logos. but it most closely actually corresponds to the word truth. So if you paraphrase John 1:1, you would be able to say, you might do it this way. In the beginning was the truth, and the truth was Jesus. Jesus didn't show up when things were calm, when things were prepared, and everything was ready and going as planned. He came into the dark on purpose, for a reason, to bring the light of truth into our darkness and into our confusion. Jesus didn't just come for a visit. Jesus came to stay. If your life feels dark, or confusing, or heavy, or uncertain, painful, if it's hard to find truth, then you're not outside the Christmas story. In fact, you would be right in the middle of it. You're exactly where Christmas begins. So if your story begins in darkness, what does the light do? What does the coming of Christ actually accomplish? The light reveals what we could not see. Verse 9 of John 1 says, "The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world." Light helps us see what was always there, but was, for one reason or another, hidden from our eyes. A while back, I was working on a little project at the house. I was actually building a little pole barn. And I was looking for, I have this great level, this wooden level that belonged to my grandfather. And it's level and it's wrapped in brass and it's really nice. And I couldn't find it. And I was rooting around all over the place. I looked everywhere twice. And I couldn't find it anywhere. And I have other levels, so I could have kept building, but it was more important to me to find that level because it's special, right? It matters to me. And so, as I said, I looked everywhere twice, and to be totally honest, there's a part of our basement that's not finished, and it's not organized. It is, to say that it's orderly would be a gross exaggeration. And I had gone through there are windows in there, and I had looked and I didn't see it. I thought I had looked pretty thoroughly. And I got really, really frustrated because I could not find my grandfather's level. And I don't want to, it's just going to sound a little super saved, and I don't mean it to. I wasn't super spiritual or anything, but an idea popped in my head. Look to Jesus. Which seems like the obvious thing to do, right? If you're a pastor, you look to Jesus, right? Well, let's be honest. My response was, say what? What do you mean look to Jesus? This is a practical problem. I'm looking for a level that I cannot find. Look to Jesus. So I went back into that part of mayhem that is the unfinished basement of our house, and I flipped on the light, and something flashed in front of me when I flipped on the light. And it was, you'll just have to wait till later, but it was the portrait of Jesus that's now hanging in the foyer here at the church. And it's real glittery, if you noticed it, right? It's black canvas with a portrait of Jesus painted in silver glitter. And I hadn't noticed it because it was not reflecting any light. And it drew my attention. And when I walked over and I looked at it, I saw the tip of my level behind it. And I had set my level against the wall and set the portrait on the level so that it wouldn't bend while I was waiting to get it here. All I needed to do, literally, was get behind Jesus. Silly? Yes. Does it preach? Well, you tell me, right? I needed to get behind Jesus with the light on because I had looked all through there. It was there the whole time, but I wasn't trusting in the light enough to see it. That's the gospel. Christmas is God turning the lights on so we can see him, so we can get behind him. He's not distant. He's not angry. He's not disappointed. He's not looking to judge you for all the wrong things that you have done. He has open arms, eyes filled with compassion, and a heart that loves you enough to come near. This is a Savior who steps into your story, whatever your story happens to be. He comes to you, not away from you. He is not repulsed by you. He is not turned away from you. He comes to you even when, maybe especially when, your life is a mess, when you've messed up. This is the light. But the most beautiful part of the story of Christmas is the light doesn't just reveal God. It also reveals to us who we are. Because the light makes it clear to us that we are part of God's family. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the darkness around you, you'll understand the urgency of John's message. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. In John 1:12, John writes, "To all who receive him, to those who believe in his name, he gave the right to become children of God." We are chosen. All who believe are welcomed into his family. All that's required is that we trust him and believe. This is a stunning truth. Jesus didn't come to just impress you. He came to adopt you. Christmas is more than a birthday party. It's a family story. God wants you in his family, not simply tolerated, not barely accepted, fully loved and cherished. In other words, Jesus didn't come for a visit. Jesus came to stay. If we want to use housing metaphor, Jesus is not planning to come, although he's willing. If Jesus were to come to you, he would be willing to sleep on the inflatable mattress in the den. But if you really understood who Jesus was, you'd give him the master suite. Follow me? Jesus is coming to move in. He wants to be a part of your life, and he wants to be the center of your life. If the light of Christ shines brightest in our darkest moments, where do you need his light in your life right now? Maybe you feel like an outsider tonight. Maybe the holidays are hard. There's dozens of reasons why the holidays are hard. He gets that. Maybe you're here tonight because it's a tradition, or you felt some sort of pressure or a habit, or you came because you wanted to make somebody else happy. Let me say this loud and clear. You belong. You belong in God's family, and you belong here. You are wanted. You are loved more deeply than you can imagine. You're not just invited. You were not invited to just a Christmas service. You were invited into God's family. And that is what the light came to do. And then John gives us a line that changes everything. In fact, it's the hinge pin of all eternity. This one sentence that totally shook the world. John 1:14. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us. The light moved in. And that's the truth. Literally, God pitched his tent. God moved into the neighborhood. Jesus didn't come as an idea or a philosophy or a myth or a good story. Jesus came as a baby. Everything that you have experienced in your humanity, all the physical calamities, he got splinters, he got bruises, he needed naps. He got tired, he would cry, I'm sure. He felt hungry. He knew what temptation was. He knew what it was to walk long roads alone. He would laugh, he would weep, he would bleed, and ultimately he would die. This is the humanity that Jesus displayed for us, and it's real. Jesus was a real person, just like you and me. He knows what the human condition is. God wanted to be with us, not above us, not far away. And this sets Christianity apart from any other option you have. It's not reach up to God. It's God came down to you. Love put on flesh. Mercy took on a body. Grace had a heartbeat. And light stepped into the deepest human darkness so that he could walk with you in yours and show you the truth. Where do you need the light of Christmas tonight? Do you have a hurting relationship? Is your heart weary? Is there some grief that you're carrying? Fear about the future, maybe? Are you in a place where hope feels thin? John doesn't say the world was bright when Jesus came. What John says is the light shines in the darkness. Meaning whatever darkness you experience in your life, whatever you're facing, Jesus is stronger. The light is better. And that's the truth. Darkness will never overcome the light of Christ. Never has. Never will. Imagine how your heart could change if you welcomed that light into the darkest moments that you're experiencing in your life. What if Christmas brought new joy and peace to your family where it seemed impossible? What if broken relationships got mended, almost miraculously? All you need to do is let Jesus shine his light on it. Ask him into your life and ask him to fill you with his light. And then let the light penetrate you. Let the light become who you are. Because the light that pierces the darkness is the truth. And that's Jesus. If you've ever been hesitant about Jesus, don't be hesitant about Jesus. He came to you. He wants to live through you. He wants to fix it in a way that nothing in the world can fix it. The light of the world is Jesus. And that's the truth. In just a moment, we're going to pass the light of Christ. It's a Christmas tradition that we do. We start with the Christ candle, the white candle in the middle, representing Jesus, and we pass it out among us. Just like Christmas began with a single child, the darkness cannot stop it. Your hurt can't stop it. Your sin can't stop it. Your fear can't stop it. The world can't stop it because the light has come and the darkness has not overcome it. So I'm going to go retrieve some light from the Jesus candle, and we will carefully spread it around among us. And while we do that, Emily is going to come and start us in a song that we will sing together. Let's all stand. Mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep stream from heaven above. Heavenly hosts sing Alleluia. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face. With the dawn of redeeming grace, Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Jesus, Lord, at thy birth. Tonight and every night, may the light of Christ warm your home, heal your heart, restore your hope, and guide your steps. He has come. God is with us, and his light still shines. And that's the truth. Go in peace. Have a Merry Christmas.
On that note, please feel free to help yourself to warm cider and brownies in the, what is that, foyer.
Foyer. That'll work.
A lot of cider.
Yep. If you see anybody you don't know, say hello, wish them Merry